Hi everybody, my name is Katie Vandermeer, and the purpose of this video is to show you how to use Transcender to pass your certification test. So we have this document here that came with the video that you're looking at. Just want to give you a quick overview of where we use Transcender, or how we use Transcender at GRCC in the Computer Information Systems Department. So we have a series of courses that we use it for: CIS 135, 132, 232, 233, 234, 235, 266, and 265. Those courses lead to certification. Now we have other courses that lead to certification that we do not use Transcender for, such as our Cisco classes, because there's testing, training, or there's software that's part of the Cisco Academy. So this video is just for Transcender courses. Now, how you can read this document is, say that you're taking CIS 132. That is called Linux 1, and the certification that you can get out of this course is the Linux Plus certification. So we have the exam numbers listed here, the certification that you would achieve, and then the number of exams. So for example, Linux 1, Linux 2, those both lead toward your Linux Plus certification. There are 2 exams for that certification, and some exams or some certifications only have 1 exam. So for example, Network Plus, 1 cert to take, 1 test, then you're Net Plus certified. The Microsoft certifications, we have CIS 135. That leads to the MTA, and the exam that is suggested for that course is 70-680. So currently that exam is configuring Windows 7. As we transition to new operating systems, that exam is due to change pretty soon, but not this academic year anyway that you're studying in. So that's the MTA. Now you can actually take any Microsoft certification. The first one that you pass, you become a Microsoft technology associate. So you can take any Microsoft certification to get and earn your MTA. Put that on your resume. If you are in CIS 234, for example, and you certify for 7410, you're an MTA. Bam, 1 cert down. Now the Microsoft certification for Windows Server, there's 3 exams: 410, 411, and then 412, which we don't offer here at GRCC. But you can see 1 of 3 exam, 2 of 3 exam, and then you would go on and self-study for 412 or take at a different college or university. A+ certification, 220, 801, and 802 are the current exams. Now it is fall 2015 at the making of this video. A+ certification, the 801 and the 802, that's what you're studying this academic year for fall and winter of 2016. However, those certifications expire, those tests are being retired at the end of August 2016. So if you are currently studying for the A+ certification, take your certification exam before August 31st of 2016. Otherwise, you'll be forced to take the 803 and the 804 exam. Now that might be easy, but you're not studying the 804 and 803. You're studying 801 and 802. So if you're currently in the A+, make sure that you know when the certification exams expire. Linux Plus is new, Network Plus is new, MCSA, these 2 exams are fairly new. No scheduled retire dates yet for those, so we're good. And I already mentioned about the MTA, the 680 exam being updated, but not this year for our courses anyway. So what else do we see on this document? We have certification websites. Bam, very useful. We have embedded exam objectives, and the certification passing score. So I took some time and went out to each of the websites to see what your passing score has to be, and then I created a suggested Transcender score before testing. So this is how this works. I'll go through one example and then you can apply it to whatever class you're taking. So let's say I am taking the Linux course, and I'm right now in CIS 132, so I'm studying the LX0103 exam objectives. So I'm going to open up that PDF. Excuse me. And also on this document it says that I need 500 out of 800. Now for that is a little bit low percentage. It's like 62.5 is 500 out of 800, but you might not get 800. The range is a scale, so it's between, I think, 200 or 300 to 800. So you might not have a score up to 800, but from that I suggest you get an 80 to 85 on your Transcender testing before you sit for the actual certification. So this last column here, suggested Transcender scores, this is the score that you'll want to be looking for in Transcender to make sure that you're comfortable enough to take the actual test. Because when you certify, if you fail the test, you don't get a retake. You have to pay for it again. And that sometimes is painful because that's money out of your pocket. So if I were studying, and I am as well, studying for these certifications, or some of them, I want to make sure I'm really ready to take the certification, because I don't want to get a 719 out of 900 on my Net Plus, because then I just failed it. I at least want to get a 720. 720 out of 900 is somewhere around like a 80%, 82%. But I want to make sure I get between an 85 to 90 on my Transcender before I pass that. So we were over here. So I've opened up my my Linux Plus certification. These are the exam objectives. And you can download these online. I've given you all the links. But the thing that we're kind of looking for is this right here. These are the categories that this particular exam tests for. And when you open up any of these documents, let's look at Net Plus. When we open up any of these documents, you'll see the same thing. Here are the exam objectives for Net Plus. And these are helpful to know when you're using Transcender, because 24% of the Net Plus is focused on troubleshooting. And when I'm looking at Transcender, I want to make sure that I really understand my troubleshooting. With A+, you'll see the same things. This is the first exam for the A+, the 801. And this is mostly hardware. 40% of this exam is PC hardware. So you want to focus your study. Make sure you know that really, really well before you test. So look at all of these objective lists that are on this document. And why not? We'll pull them all up. And then the last one I didn't pull up was 104. So let me just organize. So we have 103, 104 for Linux. You can see that breakdown. Shell scripting, administrative tasks, 20% for the 104. 801 and then 802 is mostly the software exam. So that's the 266 course. Now Microsoft puts their objectives out a little differently, so I've given you those links as well. When you are over here, you could take a look at the MTA we already explained, but when you go out to like the 7410 exam, they don't have a PDF, so we just have to go out to the website, and it lists the exam objectives the exact same way. So let me go out there as well. Whoop, might be opening too many files, but that's okay. So while that's launching, I'm going to log into my Transcender and show you how we suggest you use Transcender to pass your certifications. And by we, I'm talking about your professors at GRCC who are teaching these courses that lead to certification and who are requiring Transcender. So that's all of these certification courses on that file we looked at. So when you log in, you'll see you have, once you activate your code, you log in through XVoucher. You might have a couple if you're taking multiple courses. One note, I want to mention that when you activate your Transcender code, you have 180 days. So you don't want to activate it right away. You want to activate it as you get ready, well, as it's required for class, and then as you get closer to certifying. When you're ready to use it, activate it. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that if you need to extend your Transcender account, you can just buy additional time. So it's somewhere in your account settings where you don't have to pay an additional $50 to get the new exam, or the extended time. You pay a small extension fee, and then you can have the Transcender for a little bit longer. Now I'm trying to kind of stay focused. Oh, here's the exam objectives that I wanted to look at. I clicked on the wrong link anyway. Well, that should open up eventually, but we can do it this way too. Too many windows, too many windows. Let's stop that one. Well, this gives me a chance to breathe for a minute. And you're going, man, this lady talks fast. Sometimes I kind of want to show you all of the exam objectives first, so let me get this behaving. Pound, pound, pound. I think it's because I said the word troubleshooting for the A+ exam, or the Net Plus exams. Certifying troubleshooting is about 40% or 23%, so we want to make sure we know that very, very well. And what's not cooperating? Oh, Microsoft. You can see my desktop. Pop. There's my Smurf. No, I don't need that. Okay. Okay, so the exam objectives for the Microsoft certifications are on the website. So here is the 410 objectives, and then we also have the 411, and then the other one was 60-780. Is that what that was? 7680. Okay. This is not a Microsoft problem. When I record videos, it kind of eats some of my internet, and that'll pop up in a minute. So while that's still working out its kinks, exam objectives. So you have the PDFs here. And for the Microsoft, you're going to take those links that are here. And I just wanted to show you an example, if we can get one of them to come up, where it will show you the objectives online. Well, maybe, hold on a second. Okay, apparently if I just paused, it came right up. So here's the 410 exam. When you scroll down, you'll see the exam objectives right here. So if you're studying for this one, 15 to 20% are install and configure servers. So go out to each one of these, whatever class you're taking, and make sure you know what the exam objectives are so that you can focus your studies. 680, here's the objectives for that exam. So you have the objective list. You want that as you go into Transcender. Why? It's because I'm going to get to it. The purpose of this video, again, is to show you how to use Transcender to pass your certifications. So I'm going to launch my sample class that I'm showing you. Make sure you have pop-ups enabled. And there's a couple different ways that you can use Transcender. There we go. So when you started your class, your teacher might have had you do a preset exam. So these preset exam experiences, they differ per exam that you're taking. So this is just Linux Plus. But remember, there's 60 questions in the Linux Plus. 60 questions. So when you're using Transcender, you'll see 60 questions, 90 minutes in these preset exams. These are exams that you want to take when you get close to certifying. And this is where you want to make sure that you get between that 80 and 85% or 85 and 90%. Because once you get your scores high here, then you're ready to sit for the actual exam. So you would just start it. You could do A, B, or any random exam, full exam. So those are the full exams. Now, they pull questions from, these preset exams pull questions from a variety of the exam objectives. So when we go back to that main screen, come on, Internet, cooperate. Okay. When we go back to this main screen, so you have the option to choose the preset exams, or you can optimize your exam experience. And that is a better way to study in the beginning for your certification. So if I'm looking at my Linux Plus 103, I have system architecture, Linux installation, Unix commands, Linux file system. So 43% are Unix commands. So that's a huge part of the certification. When I'm in Transcender, if I go to optimize exam experience, I can see those exam objectives and focus my study more. So let me go there. Boom. This is, again, not a mic. This is Katie has issues with her internet at 12 o'clock on a workday issue, not a Transcender issue or a Microsoft or a browser issue. It's just a my issue. Let me pause again. Okay, so apparently, as soon as I pause, it speeds up. So I clicked Optimize Exam Experience, and you can see these are the exam objectives. That matches with this list, right? So I know most of my questions are from this category. If that's what I'm studying in class right now, or if that's what I want to prepare for, maybe just do 20 questions or 25 questions out of this category, and then you could start the test. I'm going to open that in a new tab. That might not work, but you could start it. But here you can customize your exams, your testing, however you want. So if you're feeling that you're not very strong in the file system, just do those questions over and over and over again. So when you go through here, You know, you answer your questions, which will hide. Wants to hide the Sally directory on the Linux system. Change mod. Maybe, so you, well, either way, we're going through the questions. You next through them, and it's not globbing. Not sure. Okay, so you go through, you're not sure, you're learning. Combine the contents of a file. Oh, that would be cat. No, that one. And then you finish your 25 questions that you selected. Oh, I should have just selected 3. And your exam, you'll get your scores. This is what you want to check. You know, you want to make sure that your score is at 80%. Or 85%. And you can also mark questions for review. So when you are grading or ending your exam, you'll see the answers. You want to make sure that you read the explanations. Even though they're long, that's going to help you to understand what you got wrong or how the question works, and that's going to help you to answer the other questions. So there we go. We could look at the previous one if you want. Mark it for review, grade it, however you want to do it. But the purpose of this video, again, I just want to stress that Transcender is your software that you purchased. It's your test prep software. So your teacher may assign, if I can get it to launch, your teacher may assign different things, but you as the purchaser of this software, you need to go in here and use this as much as possible to get prepared for the certification. It's going to help you pass it. And how often you use this software is going to be dependent on you. If you really want to certify, if you're a serious student, if you want to put on your resume that you have this certification or that certification, that's the reason we're requiring this software. Use it so that you can pass the test. It works a lot better than I'm demonstrating here. My internet is slow. Slow. So, again, you have 2 ways to use Transcender. The optimized exam experience will break it down by objective. I would do that at the beginning to help you focus on what you're trying to pass, each objective, section by section. When you get closer, when you're doing well on these exams here, you do them over and over and over and over again. When you're getting really great at those and your exam scores are high, do the preset exams. Do the A and the B and the C and whatever your certification allows you to do, and see if collectively as a whole you're doing well in those. Once these exam numbers are high, I would feel confident in going to test for your certification. Also, make sure you check out your exam history. This is where you can see your percentage and how it increases. So this is just a sample one, but I have I failed this first one, 5%, 8%, and you can see as you go through taking your exam over and over and over again in the preset and the optimize, the categories, how those are increasing. So details will show you exactly what you've done. So finally, I can't stress this enough. Transcender is something that is yours to use to pass the test. Yes, it's $50, but it is going to help you to pass the certification. It's going to save you a second testing fee if you fail it. This Transcender also has a guaranteed money back. So if you fail it, you can submit your fail score to Transcender, and they'll pay you back for what you've paid here in Transcender. It's a certified passing software. So This is all you, man. It's up to you. You've gotta use this over and over again to pass it. Good luck. Use these tools that we have here. And if you have any questions specifically on the certification, where to take it, you can talk to your advisor in the CIS department or your professor for that course. Good luck.